Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day, whatever day you're watching this. It is Sunday for me, and I am so excited to be starting this video. I've had this one planned for a while now, but I'm gonna be reading 3 fantasy romances from KU, and I am thrilled. I have been in such a KU reading mood lately, and I feel like these titles are ones that I feel like I see everybody recommending, and I'm finally ready to sink my teeth in. The first book that I'm going to be reading, and the first book that I've actually already started, is Zodiac Academy, the first one. I think it's called The Awakening or something. I'm having a really good time. It's funny, I know that Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life started this too, and she wasn't loving it, and I get it, but it is just my brand of, I don't want to say stupid, right? But just my brand of indulgent, fun, fast-paced, maybe not quality literature. It's fun. So this book is about about Darcy and Tori, who are twins, and they are living in Chicago. They've been in a foster home their entire lives, and they really just rely on each other to kind of get through. I think when they're 17, they end up getting kicked out of their foster home, and they have to kind of fend for themselves. So we open up, and both of them are trying to do what it takes to make ends meet in terms of getting money and being able to pay for an apartment. I believe Tori is the more rebellious one, or at least that's kind of how she's being characterized, and she ends up stealing a motorcycle to sell to a chop shop. We have this interesting, running from the cops kind of scene right at the beginning, and then we also have Darcy, who is trying to find the money that she squirreled away at her foster dad's house. She's going back there, kind of sneaking in and trying to grab her cash. That's how the book opens. It was very high stakes from the start, which I love. From there, things get very silly and nonsensical, but in a fun way, in a way that I'm really enjoying. So where to begin? So after Tori steals a motorcycle and gives it to the chop shop or whatever for cash, she ends up meeting this guy at a bar, and he says, "Hey, I know who you are, and I have somewhere that I can take you." And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He follows her home, and they have a conversation, the three of them, Tori, Darcy, and is his name Orion? I think it's something like that, something silly. He's a professor at Zodiac Academy, and these two girls are actually the heirs to a Fae throne, and the Fae universe is stacked on top of ours. So the world itself is similar, there's a United States in the Fae world, but there's Fae creatures, and they all have elemental magical powers. And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna take you to the Zodiac Academy, totally free. You're gonna have room, you're gonna have board, and you're gonna have an inheritance that your parents left you because they were the king and queen, and it's gonna be a really sick time." And thankfully, these girls were not too stupid to pass that opportunity up. They end up going to the Zodiac Academy. Things happen. Things have been happening from there. Tori and Darcy end up finding out that after the king and queen died for these past 17, 18 years, the throne has been occupied by ruling families. I think if we were going to equate them to anything, they'd be kind of dukes and duchesses. And right now there are 4 male heirs to the throne. I can't remember what they call them. I want to say celestial heirs or something. So they're 4 hot and sexy dudes who are at Zodiac Academy, and they want nothing to do with Tori and Darcy except for to bully them because ostensibly they're going to take over the throne, but they don't know anything about elemental magic because they didn't grow up in this world because they're changelings. So they've been tasked with kind of figuring out their powers and learning at the Zodiac Academy, and I don't know, hopefully taking their rightful place on the throne. But again, there's a lot of bullying afoot, so they kind of have to navigate that as well. The bullying so far has only been between those celestial, I don't know if they're considered celestial heirs or if that's the 2 girls. Anyway, whatever they are, they have been bullying the girls, and that's kind of been it. There's also been bullying between the professor, I want to say his name's Orion. He kind of has been bullying the 2 girls as well. They go to their first day of classes, and it's very obvious they don't know what's going on and they don't know anything. They're kind of giving him attitude, and he kind of bullies them back and or encourages the class to bully them. The environment doesn't seem correct. This doesn't seem like a warm, inviting school environment, but so far so interesting. It is giving me other magical school vibes, which I'm liking. And I do like that this is sort of set in a post-high school setting, which I think is fun. So it's almost like a Zodiac college, if you will. But so far so good. I feel like I don't know who the love interests are yet. This is a long series. I want to say it's going to be 8 books by the time that it's finished. And I don't know where things are going to go from here. I've heard that it gets really emotional. One of my friends who I know is a skeptical romance reader said she cried. So I'm assuming it gets emotional, it gets emo from there. And I'm hoping that I like this one so much that I'll do maybe a dedicated reading vlog at some point to the whole series once all the books are out. I think the 7th one comes out soon, but there's gonna be one more after that. So I'm gonna wait until they all come out if I decide to do that. I'm chatting a lot because I have not been on camera in a week and I have missed it. But my plan today is really to finish this book and maybe start The Bridge Kingdom by, I want to say Danielle Jensen. I'm gonna start that one at some point, hopefully today. I don't have much to do otherwise. I was like, I'm gonna like read and do activities and like vlog I already did all my activities yesterday, so I don't have much in the way of doing exciting things except for reading today. That's where we're at today. I am going to update you as I go with this one. I just feel like I'm gonna have a lot to say. I hope I set up the world enough for y'all. I think the only other thing that I would add maybe is that this is such an interesting magical world. Everybody at the school is fae, but everybody has different forms that they go into to suck magic from people or to like replenish their magic, right? So they're fae creatures. They have one of 4 elemental powers. Some people have more elemental powers than others, you know, like you can have water and air. And then to replenish those powers, go into your like other form, I think. I think that's how the world's set up. So you could be a fae vampire, you could be a fae werewolf, you could be a fae succubus. A lot of stuff to absorb, but it's all been like fairly easy to understand. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm like 25% in. I don't know if I've already said that, but I'm ready for things to heat up. I'm ready to see who our love interests are. Okay, so I moved up here in an attempt to not fall asleep, and it's not working. I ate lunch and then I started back in on this book and I'm having a great time still. I will say though, I am sort of wondering what the purpose was behind the dual POV. I think this book is told by 2 authors and I'm thinking maybe that's the reason we have 2 different main characters, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not seeing a lot of like personality differences between the 2 of them, and often I'm unsure of who is going to what location and like what interactions are happening between what people, because I feel like Tori and Darcy are like very similar. The main difference is that Tori selected fire as her house and Darcy selected air as her house. I think they weren't allowed to choose the same element, so they kind of just picked. That's the only thing that's helping me differentiate. So since we last spoke, we had Tori have a lesson with fire with Professor Pyro, and I have to say a lot of the like names for people and places and things like that in the story are really making me laugh. So we had Tori have her experience with Professor Pyro and with some of the other fire elemental people. Find out that Tori is so powerful when it comes to fire that she is unable to, I don't want to say control herself, but she needs training, and so she is going to be under the tutelage of Darius, one of the heirs, which she is not excited about because obviously like he bullies her and that's not an ideal situation. And then we have Darcy, who has her first lesson with Orion. She's assigned to have a lesson with him because she doesn't really know anything. Not that Tori does either, but Darcy is assigned to have lessons with him on how to not be coerced. So much like in a lot of like vampire lore, there's this element of coercion that is at play in this story, or I guess in this world, and essentially people can control you. They can tell you, hey, go do this, and you will do it if you don't have like a mind shield. And since these girls are new to this world, they obviously don't have mind shields, so Darcy is going to learn how to mind shield with Orion, I believe. Their first interaction's interesting. I'm wondering if he is going to end up being one of the love interests. Since it is a college setting, I don't feel as weird about the age gap dynamic there if it does happen, but I don't know if that'll happen or not. I feel like it's more likely that she'll end up with an heir, but I don't want to speak too soon. I definitely think the love interest for Tori is going to be Darius though. I feel like she's a fire elemental, he's the fire dude. Like it makes sense that they would be the same or like have an attraction there. And I think that's part of why she picked that house, is because she thought he was hot. Sound logic on her part. Nothing really exciting has happened beyond those 2 things. Like that's mainly what's happened. There was an interesting run-in with Pegasus, a magical sparkly pink unicorn, I think is what they call the Pegasus that they run across. That was interesting. I'm curious to see what the girls, like what their form is. I can't remember what they call them, but I think the father was a Hydra. I can't remember what the mom was, but much to consider. Much to think about. As you can probably tell, I'm so tired, y'all. I don't know what it is about the like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock time suck period, but I'm just like falling asleep even as I talk about this. Not that the book's boring, I'm just like, I might actually end up taking a nap though, so I can like be more energetic for the next clip. I feel like this is a series that I could potentially get invested in because it feels so easy to read, and I feel like this is the level of fantasy reading that I'm at the moment. Like, I want to read something bold and grand, but like, is that actually gonna happen? I don't know. I'm supposed to be reading I Have the World soon, because the Wheel of Time show's coming out, and Hayden has read, I think, like the first 8 or 9 books, and I was like, I'll read it, and we can do a Dumb Bitch Book Club, so I might vlog it. I don't know if I will or not, but that fantasy in comparison to this is just, like, a little daunting, but let me know in the comments, like, if you want that vlog. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna go take a nap. Okay, maybe I am just far too rational for books like this, but there's been a couple of things that have happened that have got me curious. So we had another run-in with a professor who also bullies the girls, and I'm wondering if just, like, everybody is bound to bully Tori and Darcy. They do have like royalist fans, but other than that, they're kind of friendless besides like 2 people. I think Sophia and Diego are their friends. Everybody else kind of hates them and like posts terrible things about them online. And what has me especially fucked up is that there was a naked picture of them, or one of them, shared on the like Facebook. Honestly, these names take me out. There's a picture of Tori, I believe, shared on Facebook. It's like her ass. One of the administrators comments, "Hey, take this down. We're going to take away 10 house points from you. If you're going to share naked pictures, share them privately," instead of just telling them don't share naked pictures of people. And we also find out that Darius has the original pictures. So even though it was deleted off of Facebook, he has the original pictures of her. And I'm just like, why? I was expecting a bully romance for sure. Like, that's definitely what this is said to be. It's getting like a little redundant, like a little bit repetitive. And I'm sure that's going to be something that keeps recurring. So I'm trying to like keep a level head about it and just like keep going, because the world's interesting and I do like Tori and Darcy, even if they're like kind of the same person. And the world's like exciting and fun. So I'm definitely like still into it. But I'm just wondering why we still have professors bullying students and why we also have naked pictures being shared online. I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand that because of the bullying aspect of the story, but like, I don't know. They're in their water class now. Oh, another thing. This is kind of a dumb little quibble that I have with the world, but how come every class seems to be populated by all grade levels? Like if there's like a water training class, you've got freshmen, but you also have sophomores, and I don't know about upperclassmen, but like the freshmen are getting taught and then the rest of the students that are older are practicing or something like that. I don't know. Interesting. You would assume the academy would be big enough to be able to have multiple sections of classes for like different age groups, but maybe I'm overthinking this. I'm certainly overthinking this, but that's where I'm at. Still no sign or hint really of love interest. Again, I'm thinking that it's going to be Tori and Darius, Darcy and Orion, the professor, but like, we'll see. He's annoying, so I don't really like want her to get with him, but I also don't really like any of the heirs. I feel like no one has enough personality for me to be like, hell yeah, y'all need to hook up. But this did remind me a little bit, okay, it's reminding me in readability of the Madison Kate series, and I only read the first book in that. And I'm kind of tempted to do a reading vlog, reading all of those books back to back. So if that's something you want to see, also let me know. I think I already told you, let me know if you want to see a Wheel of Time reading vlog, but more specifically, and probably more importantly, do you want to see a Madison Kate reading vlog? Because I'm kind of feeling like I might do that soon. I've just been wanting to read some indie romances, and I know a lot of y'all have been commenting recently on my videos that like I haven't been enjoying things and you don't like watching my videos anymore because I hate everything, and that's valid. I get it. I really do. I've been feeling it too, so you're not alone in that. I'm trying to be better about picking up things that I think I'm going to like, and or making content around books that excite me, and I feel like you're going to be seeing more of this kind of thing because of that. So hopefully you're on board with that sort of thing. I don't know, I feel like I had a kind of a crisis in the middle of the year. Not like a true crisis, but you know, I had taken a break from YouTube and then I came back. I was being really creative with my content, but I wasn't really considering the books that I was reading, as in like picking up enough romance for my own like personal enjoyment. I was just picking up things to make interesting videos, or what I hoped would be interesting videos, and I think that sort of failed a little bit. I also was experimenting with new kinds of thumbnails, like doing really like colorful and bright things, and I just had like an epiphany in August. I was like, girl, you need to chill out. You need to get back to your neutral thumbnails because that's who you are. You need to get back to reading romance because that's who you are. I mean, I'm always going to try to make creative stuff, and I'm not ever going to limit myself to only reading one genre, but I am trying to get back to like reading things that I enjoy, and or getting to read things that are new and exciting to me that I can share with you, because I feel like a lot of the books that I've been reading lately are things that everybody else has been talking about, which isn't bad. Like, I'm gonna pick up whatever I want, but I do think there's something to be said for being able to come to my channel and find new and exciting things. So anyway, I want you to know that I've been aware of it too. I like want to be putting out exciting, like fun stuff for y'all, and I feel like this is part of it, and you might totally disagree. I don't think these like vlogs specifically are exciting, but I am excited myself to make them. I don't think my content is groundbreaking, especially if it's just like a KU reading vlog, but I think I have the most fun making these, so I'm gonna keep doing that. I just wanted to like mention that because I posted a list video today, and I've been reading comments, and just a couple of comments were kind of pointing out that like my content has been less exciting and or I haven't liked books recently, and I totally get that, so just wanted to kind of talk about that. But I think it's like 6 o'clock. I think like 50% into this book, maybe 40%. I don't think I'm gonna get to the Bridge Kingdom today, which is totally fine. I'll probably do that tomorrow. I feel like whenever it's a weekday, work day, I feel like I get more read. So I still am hoping to get this one finished tonight, but you know, more tomorrow. Well, it's a new day and things are heating up, and I don't mean my leg, which I'm currently icing after my rollerblading accident yesterday. Let's leave it at that. Okay, Zodiac Academy. We're at like 72% right now, and much has happened. I don't know what people consider spoilers, to be honest, because I feel like I've shared things in the past and people were like, you're spoiling the book for me. But also like I need to be able to talk about the plot for this to be an interesting vlog, right? So I'm going to talk about things. I'm not going to let you know my suspicions and or like I will not let you know who done it, right? Because there's kind of a mystery aspect going on here. Essentially, we find out that the parents of the two girls, the king and queen, former king and queen, I guess, if they're dead, they were murdered by nymphs, perhaps. Or maybe they were murdered by actual fae. We don't really know. So we find out that nymphs are actually power suckers. They don't have powers of their own, so they have to kill fae to gain power. I don't really know what form they take. I don't know what they look like. We don't really know details, but that is kind of thrown at us, as honestly everything is in this book. It's pretty info dumpy, but like, I'm not too mad about it. We have also gotten some suspicious activity between Orion and Darius. We find out that they're kind of in leagues together, and it sounds like they're talking about trying to kill Darcy and Tori, but we don't know if that's true or not, because Darius kind of like confronts Tori after thinking that she has overheard some conversations. She tells him her suspicions, and he's like, oh, that's it? That's all you think's going on? So that's part of it, or if it's none of it, I don't really know. I don't know what's up. Right now, we just had a scene where the girls are finally getting off campus and they get to go club, basically, with their two friends, the only two friends they have. We find out that one of the fellow students has been attacked, probably by a nymph, we're assuming. Beginning of the story, we had, I don't think it was a student that died. I think it was an older person, but I can't remember because I'm also reading a thriller where people are dying on campus, so everything's kind of blurring together in my head. But a lot is happening and a lot is afoot, which I'm appreciating because we were getting a lot of delightful school scenes, which I'm totally into, but I wanted there to be, you know, something more to the story. Was wondering what the plot would be. It's very clear that this is the plot, and I like that. I like that there's some intrigue going on, and I think things are sort of heating up between the girls and their potential love interest. Darius is obviously very much a love interest, although he also could be a potential murderer, so that's fun. I think I might have been off base about Orion because he has claimed Darcy as his like power source since he's a vampire. Tori is Caleb's power source. Darcy is Orion's power source. He's kind of creepy and I don't like him. How come literally all the professors in this book suck except for the fire professor? Like everyone's creepy and gross and I don't understand it. Has no one ever complained? Like I just I'm wondering how they continue to get these people coming back to Zodiac Academy with creepy professors. Again, I guess it's adding to like the bully element of the story, but I feel like it was sufficient enough with the four dudes. So they're boarding a bus back to school and I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. Again, I only have like 15% left of this book, so I don't know. Like I feel like regardless of what happens, I'm probably gonna want to continue on with the series, so that's a good sign. Are we happy? Are we happy that I'm kind of like happy? I don't know. I'm as happy as one can be with an injured leg and shoulder. I bailed so hard. My body hurts. The whole left side of my body is bruised, so I'll be in bed for God knows how many days. I was excited to be like, I'm back to my neutral bullshit, like I'm gonna wear like cute stuff, and yeah, here I am in a big Comfort Colors t-shirt because I don't want to get out of bed and put girl clothes on. So alright, I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, so I finished Zodiac Academy last night and I have no idea what I'm gonna rate this book, but I had a really good time with it and I feel like I definitely will carry on with the series. The conclusion to this one was pretty good. There's still a lot that we don't know, things that I am really excited to discover. I don't really want to get into spoilers or anything like that because I feel like I have divulged enough about the plot, but I do feel like it was a pretty satisfying read. I kind of wish a couple of more things had been revealed than were revealed, but since this is such a long series, I'm not like super mad about it. I don't know if I'd recommend it or not. Someone replied to my story asking me, hey, is this worth it? I got like a couple chapters in and couldn't get into it. I think it's really going to depend on like what you're looking for. I think if I was objectively rating this, it'd be 3 stars. From like a technical writing sense, probably 2. From an enjoyment perspective, maybe 4. So I think I'd split the difference and give it like a 3 star because it was just fun to read, and sometimes it's okay to just enjoy things that aren't technically perfect, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like it wasn't technically great, but like I had fun with it. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I have like 2 other books to read and this video is already like 20 minutes long. So I did end up starting a book today. I kept saying I was gonna start The Bridge Kingdom and I thought, you know, I'm gonna slide in an audiobook in between the 2 physical, you know, books, but I'm not gonna do that because for the first time in 2 years I actually want to read physically and not just listen to an audiobook. The world is healing or something like that. I don't know, but I am like 20% into Guild. This is a book that I feel like I've been seeing advertised a lot on Amazon, especially when it comes to like fantasy romance. The ones that have been heavily advertised are Zodiac Academy, Guild, and The Bridge Kingdom. So this one I didn't know much about, but I decided to pick up, and I knew it was going to be an adult romance. I knew it was going to be kind of maybe dystopian. I guess just like the cover I could tell, you know, gilded cage, like this seems like it's gonna be dark. It's a lot darker than I had anticipated. I didn't read the synopsis before picking this one up. Wow, I did not expect this. So this this story is about our main character, Oren, and she is a saddle, essentially a pleasure pony. If you've watched all of my videos, you know what I'm talking about. She is a bit of a pleasure pony for King Midas. And King Midas has a bunch of different people who he regularly has sex with, but Oren is his favorite and he has turned her to gold. So she's not like immobile, but she is golden. Like her body, her skin, everything is golden, and she is his favorite, and she was saved by him, and she has sort of a Stockholm syndrome situation going on. She's kind of got a fixation on him, and he is really the only person that she ever comes into contact with. Like, she has seen other people, she talks to other people kind of, but like no one likes her or cares for her because she is the king's favorite, and she doesn't get enough attention from the king for her liking. So as a result, she has to entertain herself. So she's kind of funny, she has a good personality, but she's just craving more from this life, even though she's given everything she could possibly want. She is just not loving her life, and things have kind of taken a turn for the worse because she is put in a situation where she is being offered up to an ally kingdom. So essentially she is going to spend the night with this gross rival king. He's not even a rival, but like ally king, in order for King Midas to have troops to like invade one of the kingdoms. I don't know how many kingdoms there are, but we know there's at least 6, because King Midas is the king of the 6th kingdom. Him and the 5th king are going to try to take over the 4th kingdom in exchange, you know, for a night with our girl Oren. So it's interesting. I will say the writing is night and day between this book and Zodiac Academy, and that's like no shade, because to be honest with you, as long as the book is keeping me entertained, I'm not like picking over grammatical errors or anything, but this one definitely has a more sophisticated writing style. So if that's something that tends to make you hesitate when it comes to picking up, you know, KU books, I think you would be more impressed with this one. I will say it's very graphic. The opening chapter, we definitely get an eye into this world, and we have King Midas having sex with like 5 different people. I was kind of thinking it would be something more akin to a Sarah J Maas book, but this is definitely a lot more graphic, so that's something to be aware of. So far I'm enjoying it. It's definitely keeping me interested. I flew through the first 20% of this book, and I think this one's like almost 400 pages, so that's a good sign, because I really wanted to finish this book tonight and then start in on the Bridge Kingdom tomorrow, but like we'll see what happens. Update on the leg, it's doing better, feeling better about it. I can still barely walk, but like other than that, it's fine. I'm chilling with my cats. Let me see if I can get like, I'm gonna keep reading. I will update you once I don't even know how far into this book since I'm already at the 20% mark, but I'll just keep you posted. Okay, so I'm 50% into Guild. I don't really have much to say. I will mention that crisis has been averted. Nothing untoward happens to our dear Oren, at least yet. I will say I was reading some spoilery reviews, I suppose, of this book, and they did mention an assault that is described in detail graphically on page in this story, so if that's triggering to you, maybe skip this book or seek out a review that can tell you exactly what part of this book to skip because of that. Thankfully, nothing like that has happened yet, but I know that it is going to come. Surprised at the direction the story is taking, but I am enjoying it, and I am kind of interested to see where things go. Presently, our heroine is traveling to a different location. She is no longer trapped in this gilded cage in this kingdom, I suppose. So she is traveling to a new kingdom, and I'm curious to see kind of what happens from there. I know that he is kind of trying to take over insidiously some of the other kingdoms, but I don't know if he'll be successful. And I will say in the description of this book, it does mention that the Fae used to rule the realm, and they've abandoned the realm, and now people with powers have taken their place, like King Midas, who has, you know, the golden touch. So I'm wondering how the Fae are going to play into this book and then upcoming books. The only thing that I guess I sort of wish is that more maybe would have happened up until this 50% mark. It's sort of hard to say that for Kindle Unlimited stories, because obviously it behooves whoever writes them to really milk the page count and to ensure they have as many books as possible in a series so that they can make as much coin as possible. If you didn't know, the way that Kindle Unlimited authors specifically make their money, and I say Kindle Unlimited authors, obviously these are just authors in general who want to make money from their books, but specifically if you sell through Kindle Unlimited, you get paid for the page flips. You know, it behooves you to have more books published. So I understand why that is. It doesn't feel like this book is like long and drawn out for no reason, but I do wish there had been maybe a little bit more happening up until this 50% mark, because I'm still sort of unsure of where the story's going. I don't know how the Fae are going to play in. We haven't really heard anything about the Fae, although they're mentioned in the description of the book, so I'm sure they're going to come into play at some point. So yeah, so far so good. Again, very, very different vibes than Zodiac Academy. There's definitely, you know, different issues in each. Like this one is definitely heavily dealing with misogyny and those sorts of issues. I mean, I'm I'm assuming it's trying to critique those things because our heroine's unsatisfied with her life. And then with Zodiac Academy, obviously there is the bullying aspect, but that one just seems like immature by comparison, just the way that it's written. I mean, a lot of like the slang and or like words that some of the characters use, you're just like, you just kind of chuckle because they're stupid. This book doesn't have that same vibe, so I don't know. I don't know if that helps anyone. If you've read Zodiac Academy and you thought it was kind of cheesy, I think Guild might be a better bet if you're not sensitive to some of the subjects that are kind of discussed. So far so interesting. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this one and then let you know how I feel. I don't really foresee the need for multiple updates, and frankly, I don't want to do multiple updates. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully tomorrow I will be more energetic and like more willing to provide vlog clips. I'm sorry I've been so all over the place and or maybe not as excitable in this vlog as I could be, but this injury has really taken it out of me, so I don't know. Tomorrow, fingers crossed, things get better. My leg is feeling a lot better today, but I think tomorrow's gonna be good. Did I say good? That's a joke. My leg's itchy and I'm a little upset because I finished Guild and I'm just contemplating my life up until this point. I'm trying to live, laugh, love it off. I'm trying to be positive and be honest at the same time, and that's tough because I wanted to like this book, but I feel like the level of sexual violence in this book made it pretty unlikable. And look, that's not to say that I won't carry on with the series, which I'm debating at the moment. It just means that this book, I don't know. Here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm thinking. I know I'm all over the place today. I get it. All right, we have this character who is basically a sex worker. I don't even know if we'd call her a sex worker because she is basically forced to have sex with one man who she thinks she's in love with because of the Stockholm Syndrome, right? As she is going to this kingdom, she ends up getting kidnapped and bad things happen. Not to her per se, but to the people that she knows, the other saddles. I loved seeing her girl boss. I loved seeing her save that person, but I didn't need to see a graphic on-page assault scene. Yeah, that just wasn't really something I was looking for, and I knew it was coming, but I was just upset that it happened anyway. So that happens, and then she ends up getting sold to another man who's supposed to be this like evil guy, and I'm assuming we're gonna find out in the second book that he's not evil and that all the things we've heard about him have been wrong, etc., etc. But I can't help but feeling like I want my heroines to have some more agency, and I really think that this story as a whole is supposed to be this like triumphant story of gaining agency and, you know, being a boss-ass bitch, and like there's hints of that. Like Orin definitely has her moments, and I'm not saying she's a bad character. I really liked her character, and I think that's what was upsetting to me, is that I enjoyed her character and I liked the world, right? Like I like these 6 kingdoms. They made sense to me. They were interesting. I like this idea of having a fae that have long left but are probably still there, you know? Like we just can't see them. I liked that idea. But again, the amount of sexual violence in this book, the amount of like derogatory words used to describe women, just like, it just kept hitting me over and over and over again. And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like if and you know what, everybody has their own experiences. I feel like if I were to write a fantasy book, I don't know that that's the route that I would want to take. If I were trying to write a story of a woman, you know, triumphing and like being powerful and stuff, I just don't know that I would go to this level of depravity to like make that contrast. Does that make sense? It was a bit much for me. Part of me wants to continue on with the story because I'm assuming the second book could not possibly be like this, but even if she does fall for this guy, he still purchased her for money. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I like am kind of in a situation where I don't know how to rate this one, kind of like Zodiac Academy. I did not hate this book. I want you to know that, and I don't even not recommend this book. I just want you to kind of know what it is going in and like know things. Okay? Okay. We're done. We're done with this book. I finished it. This is not going how I thought it would go, as per usual with my vlogs, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you always, and I'm not just like looking for things to nitpick. I really, like for this book especially, you need to know kind of what it is before going in. Okay, but I did end up starting The Bridge Kingdom, which I'm 30% into, which I regret picking up on audiobook. I have since moved to the Kindle book, which is sort of mind-boggling to me because I'm an audiobook bitch at this point. Apparently not. My Kindle Oasis, the only good thing about this thing is that it's making me read more, like on a device, just in general, I guess, beyond audio listening. Not that either is better than the other, but anyway. Kindle Oasis is not worth it, FYI. Okay, wow, I need to just really get my shit together, huh? It's about Laura, Lara. She is the daughter of a king who is trying to mess with a rival kingdom, and we don't know who to believe. We don't know if we believe the king. We don't know if we believe this guy that the king marries Laura off to. She's the daughter of the king, so she's a princess. She's married off, and that's kind of the story. It's a marriage of convenience. It's also enemies to lovers because like rival kingdom. And so she goes to live in this place that she knows nothing about, and now she's kind of trying to muddle through which people she believes. Does she want to betray her husband? Does she want to betray her father? What's her plan? Mostly she just wants to be free. You know, she doesn't really want to deal with these men. And I feel like that was done tactfully in this book, as opposed to the last one. But I don't have anything super remarkable to say about it. Only 30% in. I will say, I think the writing on this one is, again, pretty solid. I like the world building we've got. I like the descriptions of the land. So, geographically speaking, I'm not really understanding how everything's laid out. I just know that Ithacana is her husband's kingdom. I cannot remember the name of hers, but she is living in Ithacana, which is like a series of islands that have like serpent-infested waters and stuff, but it seems like nice and jungly and like tropical, so love that for her. Kind of wish that were me right now. Not the snakes, but like, you know, tropical island sounds pretty nice. So she's just chilling and she's getting to know her husband. I will say, I wish the character dynamics were a little bit more complex. I wish he were a little less willing to trust his wife, but it's interesting. Is interesting. He kind of is trusting her already, which I think is kind of weak on his part if he's done such a good job of protecting his kingdom up until this point, but it is what it is. So I'm going to continue reading. I will update you. I'm going to finish this vlog tonight. I'm going to finish this book tonight, and we're going to do it together. I'm going to do it in my pea green matching set. This is easily the ugliest thing that I own, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going to go scratch my leg. I am 50% in, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I've been putting off filming this clip for like half a day. The sooner I do it, the sooner this video is complete and you guys can watch it. I ended up DNFing The Bridge Kingdom. It's not because it was bad, it's because I was not that interested in it. And you know what? I need to do that more often. I need to DNF books. I need to just move on when things aren't working for me. This book, I think, is definitely a case of it's not you. He gets it. This book is definitely a case of it's not you, it's me. I know so many people like this, and I can totally understand why people do. For me though, I just didn't connect with either of the characters. It was kind of frustrating, I would say, because I really enjoyed the beginning of this story. We have this heroine who is so bold and badass, and I was so excited to see how she was going to kind of infiltrate her way into this new kingdom that she marries into. I just didn't really feel like that really came into fruition. We get this really cool scene, and then everything just kind of goes downhill from there. I think it's all going to be dependent on what kind of stories you like and what sorts of things you enjoy. This, to me, really felt more romance first, fantasy second, and if you don't care much about the characters, it's going to be hard to be invested in the romance. Does that make sense? I didn't really feel a connect here, and that's okay. I'm not super upset about it. I am really surprised though at the way that this video has gone. All of my previous notions and conceptions on what I thought was going to be my favorite were not true, and I actually think that's kind of exciting because I was able to find one book that I enjoyed and want to continue on with, one book that I'm kind of unsure about, and then one book that just didn't work for me, and that's okay. I don't like this expectation that every book that you read has to be amazing or that you should only pick up books you think you're gonna like, because you know what? You can't always predict what your taste in books is gonna be, and I feel like this video is kind of proof of that. I feel like all of my videos are kind of proof of that, but I would say my recommendations from this video in particular are go ahead and pick up Zodiac Academy. It kind of gives me Vampire Academy vibes, but like less funny. It's funny just because of the way that it's written. It's not like the jokes are very good, but it has those vibes. I feel like this is a series that I would want to read kind of like at this time of year, kind of summer transitioning into fall, and you want a series to just like sink your teeth into and get invested in that's a little bit nonsensical. Like, I think this is gonna work for you. It's fun. Don't expect too much, but like it's a fun book. If you're looking for a book that has a setting that kind of reminds me of the Night Court in the ACOTAR series, I do think Guild might be a good book for you. I don't want to 100% recommend it because I don't know how the rest of the series goes, but I was hooked and gripped and I read that one super quickly, so it obviously wasn't a bad read. And then lastly, The Bridge Kingdom. I think this is a book that is going to work for a lot of people. It just didn't work for me, and that's okay. So we have a fave, semi-fail, and a DNF, and I am okay with that. So anyway, I am about to actually go ahead and start in on another KU vlog. It won't be posted for a little while, but it's going to be a new adult reading vlog, which I'm so excited about. I'm going to be reading Twisted Games. I'm going to be reading Just Like Heaven by my girl Trelina. It's going to be fun. So if this one was just mildly successful, I think that one is going to maybe net me like 3 good 4-star to 5-star reads. Like, fingers crossed. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I know this video is kind of long, but I wanted to read some fantasy romance. I'm glad that I got the opportunity to do so, and I love y'all so much, and until next Sunday.